And hello, hello, hello. Hey, guess what? You know who it is. You know who it is. I know you do. It is Matt Morgan, and it is time for Car Musings. Yay! Yes, you gotta love Car Musings. It is the podcast that you all want. It's the podcast you all want to listen to. You know it. I know it. We all love it. Anyways, how is everybody doing? I know I'm had a hell of a day, hell of a busy day, and I am exhausted. But how are you doing? How's your integrity? Keep your integrity in check. Anyways, uh, I'm probably going to babble on, so prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Anyways, as I said, I'm your host, Matt Morgan. You're listening to Car Musings, and I'm going to say one thing. Be happy with what you got if you have an opportunity. That's all I'm going to say. Um, because I'm learning the hard way about a few things, and I'm learning more so about how certain, you know, unfairness unravels. I'm seeing more of this, and I'm just shocked by a lot of things. I mean, I'm having a little more sympathy for people that, you know, are starting out with no credibility. I'm having a little more appreciation for those that, you know, are struggling. I mean, I know I've been through a struggle for the last 2 years, but I'm meeting new people, and I'm like, oof, that's a lot of freaking work. That's a lot of a struggle. But a lot of these people are hungry. They're in there. They're dedicated. They're you know there's no giving up is not an option. That kind of thing. Giving up is not an option. They are so dedicated to succeeding that they're determined to, and it's refreshing. But at the same time, when you're on the same level with them, even though you've established yourself in life with credibility and like value, when you're kind of put at that level, it's like, damn, like what the hell. I know a lot of people are like, hey, Matt Morgan, what are you talking about? You're just talking in circles. Well, I'll tell you, long as like, a bunch of you know that I've been working hard. I'm struggling my ass off, right? I got fucked out of a thing 2 years ago, and I hate that company like there's no fucking tomorrow. But unfortunately, we're not getting rid of the Chinese because they're just fucking cocksuckers, in my opinion. Especially that one company. I don't know. I don't think all of them are because I have some friends that I value and relationships that I valued that were really great people, and I can't put them all in the same boat, pun intended. But I got fucked over 2 years ago, as a bunch of and am I still bitter about it? Yeah, I am, because it was undeserved, right? It was undeserved, and my family suffered for it, and it's really a tough go at this point to, you know, other changes in the world that are really putting stress on my family. And I'm at that going local friggin' stage because now there's a livelihood that's being threatened on different fronts, and it's frustrating. So I'm doing whatever I can and being very selective and trying to be particularly careful about who I get in bed with when it comes to my professional name, my professional nature. I really got to be careful about who I do so I don't get scammed and I don't get taken. So that's the biggest thing. Now, with this being said, I'm looking for opportunities that have growth. And I'll tell you, I started entertaining one recently, and I'm like, has potential, and then I got into the friggin' brass tacks of it, and I'm like, oh my god, what is this? What is this crap? Really, that's what it's like. What is this crap? What did I get myself into? You know? But I'm looking at the people around me, and I'm sitting there like, and don't take this the wrong way. These are hardworking people, but I'm the only white guy in the room. Realistically, I'm the only white guy in the room. Okay? And that's fine. I love people from all different walks of life. I have nothing against them. I have a problem when big business kind of like pegs one of us against another because that just becomes hatred. Um, you know, when we see it from our angle, we get frustrated, we get angry, we get mad, we it becomes a level of hatred because we start putting at the individual, yeah, it's your fucking fault. I lost my job, right? It's your fucking fault that I'm in the situation that I'm in. So there becomes an unbitterness and the bitterness, and it becomes, a little bit of anger, and it's frustrating. But you got to compartmentalize all this. You got to figure it out. You got to figure out, it's not their fault. It's the fat cats at the top that are basically causing the problems. It's the ones that play the game and don't care about the working family man. Whatever. Anyways, so I'm in this plight of struggle, trying to figure this out, and I'm seeing what's available on the market, and I'm like, oh my god, if they're trying to nickel and dime people, you know, to basically go through this stuff, if they're not trying to nickel and dime people, they're bottom dollaring these people, and I mean everybody. I'm not just talking newcomers. I'm talking about nickeling and diming them. And I'm like, this is so fucked. And because, as any of you have been following along, I didn't play ball, so to speak. I did an excellent job. I was professional and I revamped the system. And oh my fucking God, if it wasn't for me, revamping the whole ticketing system and the whole process and everything else and set a better method, which I did, which basically ramped up solution times and ramped up ticket management. I mean, shit, the company that let me go, those little bastards, wouldn't have been so successful. But they were, thanks to me. But no, I get shafted. Anyways, all that aside, no sense crying over spilled milk that somebody else spilled. The thing is that I'm at the point where I'm at now, and I'm trying to struggle. And of course, there's other things that are coming down the pipe, and it's just frustrating. And it's just like, fuck, I gotta find a break. I gotta find. I mean, I would like to work for somebody that will just pay me to do a job, but the odds are stacked against me. So there's these entrepreneur type positions, these opportunity positions, these you can make more money off of. And honestly, let's be honest, you're killing yourself to do it. And if you're lucky, you land it. But if you don't land it, you're fucked, right? But anyways, I bring a lot to the table. I wheeled and dealed and I negotiated and everything else, and basically, I got myself something that should work, opportunity wise. So I'm hoping on that one that this all works out. But I'm telling you, man, it's a struggle for people. It really is a struggle for people. Like it's unfair the way that business gets ran, and I don't want to hear the sob story about how, oh, it's business, and it's the way it's got to be done, and blah blah blah. I don't want to hear that shit. If you're an established company that already has bank, I don't want to hear that you're trying to do it for the betterment of everybody, because that's a bunch of bullshit. It's basically your investors that you're catering to. You're not catering to anybody else. Fat Cat's already made the money. So, anyways, all that being said, I'm looking at this opportunity and I'm like, man, this sucks. Sucks on you hit up, and I'll tell you, I'll give you some numbers about my day today. Observing and shadowing and everything else today. And I mean, I'm coming over to you in this field with friggin' well over a decade of sales experience, right? Well over a freaking decade. And I'm watching this guy go on all this stuff like that. Out of 30 potential leads, he landed one. 30. 30. He landed one. I'm like, holy shit. So we wasted how many hours? You landed one lead to a confirmed sale for, if you're lucky, a profit, maybe $100 commission in your pocket. All right. Well, some people would argue it's not bad. $100 a day. Well, what's $100 a day going to get you really these days? But anyways, so $100 for one, better days, better, commission. But this was the day. It was like travel time, strain time, stress time, conversational time, wait time, hold time, gas time, all this stuff compiles, and you got to ask yourself, out of that $100 that you made for doing all that crap like that, was it worth it? Was it worth it to make that $100? Well, yeah, there's a potential of making more, yeah, but you got to deal with some pretty nasty shit. You know, it is what it is. But I don't know. It makes me look back at where I was, and I start weighing out these factors, going, well, all right, I was here in this position until I got fucked over, and yeah, I made better money. I did make better money, and I deserved more, but I didn't take it. I figured I was playing it safe, but no, no, no. I did make good money, but it is what it is. I just have to accept it, right? This is where I'm at. I got fucked. End of story. All right, fair enough. Let's move forward. Let's not worry about it. Let's just take it as it is and call it a day. But I'll tell you, man, with this economy the way it is, I'm hoping you people are like got an answer. I'm hoping you got a better method than I do. I'm hoping you have something a little more solid. I really do, for your sake. Because if you don't have a job and if you don't have an income and you're in the same boat as I am, yeah, I feel for you. But for those of you jerk offs that actually are gainfully employed and think it's so easy to get a job, yeah, I'd like to see how well you would fare in this market. Because some of you, well, actually, there's a bunch of you that are snowflakes. There's no way you can survive the turbulence, you know? And yeah, I admit, playing the game, so to speak, you know, playing the system, getting in bed with everybody, you know, to get you the smooth ride so you don't have to worry about shit. I admit, it's true. It's something that people do, and they never know what it's like to actually have to struggle. But I'm going to put this out there again. Listen, if you are blessed with having opportunities, fucking help somebody out. Like, seriously. Hey, I've given up on me because, you know what? I've given up on anybody else coming to bat for me because, the good people that I know that I've met that are truly 100% genuine with integrity have already helped me out as much as they could. But you can't know who's down the line even further. You don't know how they're going to handle stuff. So people can only do as much as that they can do, right? And nobody's sticking out their neck for anybody, unfortunately, these days. It's a sad, sad state of affairs. It's a sad, sad world, that people are the way that they are, but it is what it is. But trust me, help somebody out because you might be in that position one day. And wouldn't you like to have somebody have your back? Now, I'm going to tell you statistically from my own experience in the course of my professional career. So let's put a timestamp on this on 30 years. In 30 years, if I actually had to total up how many people I have assisted, whether or not it be mentoring, personal coaching, whether it be just a shoulder to cry on, shoulder to lean on, psychological advice, life advice, love advice. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Jeff. All these different aspects of life and me sharing my own personal experiences and valid knowledge has assisted these people get promotions, get further along in life, get settled into environments, everything. And they hit home runs with this stuff. And yeah, I know I sound like a fucking broken record, but you know what? These are the same cocksuckers that when I hit rock bottom, and I'm getting there, I'm probably already there, but I don't want to admit it. When I hit rock bottom, those fuckers weren't there for me. Oh, by the way, dropping the F-bomb is normal these days. Look it up on social media, movies, you name it. It seems to be a thing now. Like, we have no class anymore. We have no decorum. We have, absolutely no filters anymore for some reason. It turns out fuck is everywhere, and it's just one of those things that's acceptable. So, hey, if you can't beat them, join them, right? I mean, I'm trying to be an asshole like a majority of the rest of the world. I'm slowly getting into this thing, so I'm going to start with being a crude, uncivilized, classy fucking person. I'm going to start with that, and then I'll move into being bigger asshole as we go along. So, anyways, all that being said, yeah, it's just one of those freaking things. Like, listen, not everybody's going to be there for you, right? It's a numbers game. And I said, oh yeah, how many have I helped? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I've helped well into the triple digits. People succeeding with struggles that they had, or goals that they had, or things that they wanted to achieve. Putting myself secondary to these people. And it cost me. It cost me the situation I've been in for the last 2 years. As much as I try not to be bitter at the actual individuals because it wasn't their faults. But anyways, well, some of it was. They could have turned around and been there for me. But regardless on that one, do somebody a solid. You know what? Do somebody a solid. That's all I'm going to say. Do somebody a solid, right? Help out somebody if you can, because you never know. Those might be one of the very few individuals that will help you out in return. I'm not saying everybody's going to, because they're not going to. All right, not everybody's going to be there for you as much as they should be. You know, there's a lot of people that are fucking assholes, and that's just the way it is. And this is something we just have to learn to accept. But if you could be there for somebody you know is struggling, man, even if it's just little, don't give them a bunch of fucking lip service. Just help them out. Listen, I met some really good people that are new to this country in this venture I've been getting into, and the majority of them, if not all of them, are new to this country. And they're being fucking taken for. But some of them are using it to their advantage and actually swinging it because the fact is they're newcomers. Um, And yeah, I can't help myself, but I still try to give them advice on how to survive in North American culture. You know, how to survive in here versus from where they're from. And some of them are bright, brilliant, well mannered. Like, I don't care if you start thinking that everybody else from other countries are uncivilized. These people are freaking bright. North America, fucking be careful, man. Like, they are a threat and they're hardworking. You can't deny that. Not all of them are, but there is a select handful that definitely is. And they're hardworking and they're determined to succeed. They have family that rely on them. They have goals that they want to reach, and damn it, they're going to do it. Like, as I said, not all of them, but I've been fortunate enough to meet people from India and places in Africa and like all these countries that you wouldn't expect it, but they are well spoken, well mannered, professional, hardworking individuals. So before you go bashing on everybody that comes into your country, well, you know what? Really get to know a person beforehand. I've always been one. If you're going to contribute to countries that's giving you opportunity, then great. If you're going to build an opportunity for you that's hardworking and everything else, great. I'm all for you being where you are. I'm all for you being in my country. Hands down, I am so for it. So welcome aboard, so to speak. But I don't know. Listen, if you're blessed with an opportunity, help out people. Don't just give them a bunch of lip service. Help them out. Solid advice, solid actions. Do that. Do that just because it makes the world a better place. Because these people you might need to turn to one day. And not necessarily turn to financially, but just turn to in any sort of way. The way that you give it to them, they can probably give it back to you in return. Tit for tat, right? As they say. You know, you reap what you sow, give back, And so, yeah, I would say friggin', man, just give her. Give her, give her, give her, give her. And just be good. Be good people. Anyways, it is frustrating. I will agree. It's friggin' annoying as hell to have to deal with a lot of this crap. But it's just, if you're blessed with what you got, man, appreciate it. Because somebody can tear it down on you unfairly, and you're fucked. So again, as I'm going to reiterate, like I said in other episodes, make sure you have a backup because it'll be smooth sailing one day, and then some cocksucker of a manager like the one I had, or so-called manager, will turn around and fuck you over sideways. And seriously, I try not to hate, but some people are really difficult not to hate. especially when they had a job to do and they sucked at it. When they were supposed to guide you as a leader and they sucked royally at it. They didn't do their job, but they took it up the ass from the executives upstairs. So they're safe. Their job's comfy. But they don't like you for some reason. So they're not going to help you out. They're not going to give you advice. They're not going to manage you. They're not going to tell you what you should do. They're not going to be the position that they're supposed to be. But they're telling upstairs that they did, but they're not telling you. They're not telling, they're not actually doing their job. And then they turn around and they put you on the chopping block because they don't like you, because they're threatened by you, right? Fine, whatever, whatever. You're threatened by me, but you know what? If you're even half of the man that I am, and if you're only half the fucking father that I am, fuck, like you fail in all those departments if this is the way you treat people. And I feel bad for your kids, and you know who the fuck I'm talking about. I feel bad for your kids. I really do. Just like I'm not surprised that your marriage fell apart. Anyways, I'm not gonna bash. That cocksucker knows who he is. And he knows what he done, and I'm hoping he suffers for it one day. I really do, because you made my life a living hell, like undeserving, and my family's hurting for it, and that just makes that fuel burn a little more. My frustration and higher up the chain. It really does. I'm still suffering 2 years in, and no fault of my own, because I'm pretty sure you blacklisted me as well. Anyways, I'm not gonna go rant because I'm not gonna waste any more breath on this cocksucker. Um, but you know yourself, my listeners, don't be a cocksucker yourself. Like unless you want to be, but I'm saying don't be a jerk, don't be a dick. Life's too hard as it is. Help out somebody. Make a difference in somebody's life. You could save somebody's life too, right? Because it's a hard struggle. If I was any less of a person, I wouldn't have made it 2 years plus surviving this long. But now it's really getting threatening to my family because of other cuts that are coming in other areas, and we might not have an income at all together. You imagine how much I'm going to snap if that happens. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be pleased about that. I'm not going to be pleased about that. And I'm going to actually look at the cocksuckers that started this whole thing, and I'm going to look at them in a different light. I really am. I'm going to look at them in a different light. Like, I'd almost want to fucking step right up to them and punch them in the face. But you know what? I can't do that because it's not in my nature to. I don't believe violence is the answer. I just, I say it out of jest because I'm frustrated, but it's just really friggin' annoying that people can be this cruel to each other and be so mean and heartless and unempathetic. It's just baffling that people actually wake up every single day being like this and being the nasty pieces of shit that they are, and they're okay with living that existence. I'm absolutely shocked by it. I'm absolutely shocked by it. I cannot believe people exist like this. You know. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. I don't know what the topic was today. I'm thinking the topic was basically, really don't judge a book by its cover. Help out people when you can. And just try to be good people. It's not that friggin' hard. Look at the way the world is right now. Do you not think that people need a helping hand? Seriously. Like, just seriously. Give your head a shake if you're one of those selfish bastards that are not friggin' paying it forward or returning the favor to somebody that had your back. Really rethink, really rethink it, because you got to give your head a shake. Anyways, I'm your host, Mad Morgan. This has been another episode of Car Musings. I've had a long day. I'm gonna go home. My wife ordered some pizza. I'm gonna have a glass of wine. I'm gonna try to figure out some freaking solution, man. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. I'm at the point I need somebody to drop $80,000 in my lap because that's where my debt load is right now. 80 fucking grand. And that's just to keep afloat for another couple of months. Fuck a duck. It'd be okay if I was going on vacation living high on the hog, but No, I mean that's just expenses and having to build a future for my kid who's in school studying her ass off to be a doctor. You know what? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, man. You got to think about family. Fuck it, I got family that relies on me. So, anyways, love you for tuning in. I'm out of here. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Mad Morgan. I'll see you in the next episode of Car Musings. Bye for now.